He's the face of the Colts, but is it the face we want pushing for the Super Bowl?
This time around, Indianapolis is definitely fighting an uphill battle.
How Jim Irsay plays into Indy's bid for the 2018 game during his own legal battle.
They're creepy, they're crawly, and they're probably in your house. Why the bug invasion is so bad this spring, what you can do to keep them out.
A taste of summer, but those warm days may be numbered. Thunderstorms are in the forecast, a cool down as well. I'll have the timing.
Indy's got plenty of lovely ladies, so where are all the single guys? Tonight, I'm getting to the bottom of Indy's man problem.
Struggling to find focus once a common child disorder is now an issue for many adults.
Cloudiness, inability to focus and concentrate.
It's happening more and more. How you can get help. Fox 59 News at 10 starts now.
From Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 News at 10.
The bid to bring Super Bowl 52 to Indianapolis is in the mail.
But so are the bids from Minneapolis and New Orleans. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fanchon Stinger.
And I'm Bob Donaldson. Colts owner Jim Irsay will travel to Atlanta to present Central Indiana's pitch to his fellow owners. It will be his first public appearance since his recent arrest.
We're considered, as you know, by many to be the underdog in this fight. So the question tonight, does Irsay's involvement hurt us or help us? Fox 59's Kendall Downing joins us now live to explain more. Kendall.
Bob and Fanchon, good evening to you. This decision, the Super Bowl decision, does not come down to voters like you and me. It is 32 team owners. These are people with whom Jim Irsay knows well, has relationships. A professor I spoke with tonight says Irsay in Atlanta will help the city. At 900 pages long, the city's Super Bowl 52 bid is thick. But to sell those words, Indy needs a powerful name, like Jim Irsay.
The feedback we've gotten from the league office and from ownership around the league has been totally positive and supportive of Jim.
It might be surprising to some that Irsay would show up in Atlanta, given his circumstances.
I think it is helpful rather than hurtful to the cause. I really do.
But IUPUI sports marketing professor Dr. Jay Gladden says it shouldn't be.
Relationships are incredibly important. And Mr. Irsay is the one that has those relationships.
Carmel police pulled Irsay over back in March. He's accused of driving under the influence and with prescription drugs, but no formal charges have been filed. Irsay checked into rehab days after the arrest, and he hasn't been seen publicly since he walked out of the jail. Gladden says it's likely the arrest will not hold much weight with other NFL owners, a tight-knit group.
I think most of the owners are going to view what has happened recently with Jim Irsay as a point in time, a man struggling with an illness, and one for which he has gotten help.
A pitch Irsay will make to his peers, not about his problems, but the place he wants to host the Super Bowl in 2018.
The owners form bonds, they form coalitions, they form relationships, they form committees and subcommittees. And so his work over the years on a whole host of efforts like this should be helpful.
Now, I checked with the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office this afternoon. Still no official comment on the Irsay case or a timeline for when charges may be filed. Reporting live at Lucas Oil Stadium, Kendall Downing, Fox 59 News.
Kendall, thank you. Indianapolis faces stiff competition to bring the Super Bowl back in 2018.
Minneapolis, the city you see right here behind us, this city wants to host another Super Bowl. Their biggest asset, well, it's a brand new $975 million stadium. You're looking at the pictures. This is being built as we speak, and NFL owners like to reward cities with new stadiums. They like to give them a Super Bowl. Some other things Minneapolis is banking on: a 19,000 hotel room, new hotel for Super Bowl fans, multiple practice sites for 2 football teams, a recently expanded Mall of America, and a light rail transit system that would take fans to that new stadium. Now, one negative for Minneapolis, though, Bob, tonight, the extreme cold, of course. Not a lot of people like that.
No such problem for the next Super Bowl contender. New Orleans is the only warm weather city on the short list. They've got the Superdome. And in 2018, New Orleans will be throwing a big birthday party. The Super Bowl will coincide with the city's 300th birthday. New Orleans will also spiff up the Superdome with bigger and better widescreens above the field. The Crescent City will also has a perfect track record for Super Bowl bids. New Orleans has won all 10 of its bids. NFL owners will meet in 2 weeks in Atlanta to make their final decision.
Now the NFL draft starts tomorrow night. The Colts, they are not on the clock until the second round Friday night. And although the team has 5 picks, there is a party for Colts fans Friday night at the Colts Grill if you'd like to attend, where you can actually watch the draft live. It's open and free to the public from 6 to 9 p.m. The Colts cheerleaders and Blue also expected to make an appearance.
Investigators are trying to figure out tonight why a southeast side business went up in flames. The fire started at 5:30 this morning at Indy Drum along Terrace Avenue. The building was full of plastic barrels, which also went up in flames. A hazmat team responded, but the air quality test came back just fine.
That was a big concern of mine. The fire was intense, but just the plume of smoke that was coming from it moving through the neighborhood was really frightening, because you definitely don't want to get a lung of that.
The fire department says about a third of the building was damaged and a small amount of red dye got into storm drains. That dye isn't toxic, but as a precaution, Indy Drum hired a company to keep an eye on it. Investigators are also looking for the cause of this fire at a northeast side apartment complex. The fire broke out this afternoon at the cottages of Fall Creek. Someone visiting heard a smoke alarm go off and told maintenance. Firefighters were able to put those flames out quickly. Several units have fire and smoke damage. No one was hurt here.
Well, a Madison County man was found dead, and tonight police say his death is suspicious. James Gee was found dead in his Alexandria home by a family member May 1st. Deputies say someone forced their way into a locked closet in Gee's home, and a safe was then missing. So if you have any information on this case, you are asked to call the Sheriff's Department.
Termites, ants, and bees, they're all trying to invade your home right now. We can thank a hard winter followed by this big temperature turnaround. Fox 59's Eric Levy shows us how we can keep these bugs out before they do any real damage.
These are the usual suspects this time of year. Mother Nature's waking up after a long, cold winter. Here we are. We're ready to go.
Inside Gregory Johns' office at Gold Seal Termite and Pest Control, you will find dioramas full of different creepy crawlies.
Pill bugs, ants, millipedes, centipedes, anything you can imagine that are the creepy crawlers that are out there. They're starting to really multiply.
Wood-eating termites and the helicopter-sounding carpenter bees do cause quite a bit of damage.
They actually can do damage to your home. This is a really good example. They actually drill a hole and they make a 90-degree turn and they hollow it out, and they'll lay their eggs in there for next year.
You definitely don't want colonies of termites and swarms of carpenter bees in your home, because it's estimated they cause hundreds of thousands of dollars to homes around the country each year.
The integrity of the wood is being compromised because all they're doing is, in the termite case, they're actually hollowing out where the strength is in that wood and replacing it with just simple mud. Okay, I mean, for lack of a better term, that's what that is.
The warm weather is bringing the bugs out of hiding and keeping Gold Seal crews busy. Anthony Santana was out spraying for ants, which is common practice this time of year.
Business is just growing and growing and growing. This time of year, we'll probably have anywhere between 100 to 200 calls a day.
In this never-ending bug war.
Mother Nature's always going to win. All we're trying to do is just try to keep up with her.
Downtown, I'm Eric Levy, Fox 59 News.
So to keep the bugs out, experts suggest using caulk on any openings or cracks in your home. Also, don't leave out any dirty dishes. That's kind of gross. And be sure to clean your kitchen counters and seal up any sugar or candies you may have lying around to keep those ants out of your kitchen.
Don't want to see any ants in the kitchen. Well, you know the weather. It is the weather we've been waiting for. The warmest air of the season is here finally, and it's going to be here for a while. That's the best news. Let's head over to the Weather Authority right now. Chief Meteorologist Brian Wilkes. Brian,
Fanchen, is that the sound of air conditioning I hear in the air tonight? No, say it isn't so. It's warm enough and humid enough for it as well. And it sure is a relief finally to get this kind of warmth after the brutal winter and the chilly spring that we've been having. We've had a couple of sprinkles show up on the radar, watching a little bit of activity up in Tipton County, but for the most part it's quiet and warm. 78 in Kokomo, 77 in Anderson, officially 72 here in the city, and 76 in Muncie. Numbers that are as much as 13 degrees warmer than where we were 24 hours ago. The wind is in from the south at 8 miles per hour. The temperatures tonight only settle in the upper 50s and low 60s. A very warm night. We hit 83 degrees officially here in the city. The warmest weather we've had here since October of last year. 84 in Bloomington this afternoon. Look at the 86 in Lafayette. Lafayette, 86 degrees at Peru. We were just a couple of degrees shy of record territory. There are small rain chances over the next 24 hours. It will stay warm, but the storm threat is also on the rise to finish off the work week. We're tracking the rain. We've got brand new numbers on how much rainfall will come in, when the rain will depart, and a 7-day forecast that has another spell of 80-degree warmth in it coming up in just a few minutes.
We'll see you then, Brian. Thank you. Mayor Greg Ballard and Marion County Republicans have won the right to redraw city-county council boundaries for the 2015 election. The Indiana Supreme Court told Marion Superior judges to reinstate the boundaries the Republicans voted on in late 2011. Democrats had sued, claiming the last-minute boundaries violated the spirit of the redistricting ordinance.
These maps were designed to bring together communities of interest. They were designed to be compact, and they're also designed to be competitive. So, the politics is not what's driving the issue here.
The Democrats do say they're pleased the Supreme Court found merit in some of their arguments.
Well, it is a trip of a lifetime for some Hoosier heroes. Fox 59 and Senator Joe Donnelly also went along for this special trip. World War II and Korean War vets from the Lafayette area hopped a plane for a special honor flight to Washington, D.C. On the way, they opened letters from well-wishers from across the state. Once they landed, they got a hero's welcome. The vets got that welcome followed by a tour of memorials. It was a beautifully emotional day for all of our heroes.
I didn't get home from the Second War till March of '46. By that time, there wasn't anybody greeting us in New York. I just can't say what I feel about what we've seen today. It's unbelievable.
We are so grateful for their service. It costs $65,000 a flight to do this, so donations are always welcome. We do have more information for you on our website at fox59.com.
Medication to help kids pay attention in school, it's very common. But what about adults who need help finding their focus? Tonight, a Fox 59 special report on why more adults are being diagnosed with what many thought was a childhood disease.
Here's a question. Do you know what your taxpayer dollars are paying for? We're exposing the pet projects that are costing you billions of dollars.
Here's what we are working on for Fox 59 News tonight at 10:30.
And searching for love in Indianapolis. Why men and women both say this town's dating scene is dead.
And we've got a lot more we're working on for Fox 59 Morning News tomorrow.
Let's check in with Ray and Angela to see what's on tap.
Hey everybody, as your day is getting ready to end, ours is getting ready to start. And here's some of the stories that we'll have for you tomorrow morning.
Who doesn't love a good sale? Well, join us during our 8 o'clock hour for the ugly truth about how the timing of sales makes you think you're getting a bargain, but you're probably not.
Also at 9 o'clock, we're going to show you what fitness training methods are just a waste of your time and your money.
And it's the Great Gas Giveaway. We're giving away $100 gas cards every single hour.
So we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Procrastination, disorganization, rapid loss of focus. It's all common in millions of children diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD.
But what about adults? ADHD is more common than you might think. Fox 59's Eric Levy shows us now why more adults are turning to medication to find their focus.
When one thinks of ADD and ADHD, it's usually connected with children. And medical experts will confirm that. But there are more and more adults who are being prescribed ADHD medication. The symptoms for those who have them are not easy to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Cloudiness, inability to focus and concentrate, forgetfulness is one of the main things that is a symptom of ADHD.
Nobody knows that more than Tony Neumeister. As a child, that is how he felt, and there were few drug options at that time that made his life better.
I was on Ritalin for a very short time, and just the effects it had on me, we opted to go without it.
So Tony and his family had to find alternatives to cope with it.
It wasn't until as I grew older and could see that I was having the focus problems, the concentration problems, that I began to learn more about it. And together as a family, we seeked out the treatment options.
The drug Adderall is what he's been on for the last decade or so. He says it's helped him considerably in his life as a family man who works in the medical field. Even more so when he was a police officer.
And as a police officer, you got to have concentration. If you don't have concentration and the ability to focus, your odds of being hurt grow significantly.
And Tony Neumeister is not alone. More adults are being prescribed attention disorder medications. So says a 5-year study done by Express Scripts, a company that manages prescription benefits for Americans. They found the number of adults taking ADHD meds climbed 85%. Dr. David Mazzino with Express Scripts says it signals a need to look more closely at how and why physicians prescribe these medications for adults who may experience symptoms of attention disorders as a result of keeping up with multiple demands on their time.
There's also a lot of kids diagnosed in the probably 90s and 2000s that are growing up and they're adults now, and they were on medicine before and it helped, or maybe they weren't. But they're now discovering that these symptoms are impacting their lives.
Danny Waddle, a mental health counselor at St. Vincent Hospital in Indianapolis, thinks another reason for the growing number of adults on the meds may be the overall growing acceptance of mental health issues. So how do you know if you have it?
Ask your friends, ask your family, ask them if they've noticed symptoms or if it's impacted them or how they feel like that your inattention or your disorganization or your sloppiness or your procrastination might be impacting them.
The symptoms were most certainly bothering Tony Neumeister and is thankful every day he has his medication. And if you're thinking you may have ADHD,
go to your doctor, get tested, see where your options are. It might be ADHD, it might not be. If it is, there's options out there, there's resources for you.
Very interesting. And mental health experts say there is not one specific test that says yes, you have it, or no, you do not have ADHD. And since it's something that you don't develop as an adult, your doctor will likely talk about the symptoms that you've had and figure out the best and safest course of action. But something interesting. I mean, obviously, again, ADHD, something that you've always thought of as a childhood disorder. And again, it is. But it is going to adulthood.
And I wonder, are there gender trends when it comes to the types of treatments that are available?
Yeah, in that study, it found that adult women actually far outpace the number of men on the ADHD medication, and that's actually the reverse of children.
Right.
We're actually more boys than girls.
And then that begs the question, is it because we're trying to do too much, are we put too much on our plate, or is it another condition?
Well, just think of the symptoms, the cloudiness, the forgetfulness. It's bad enough as a child when you're going to school, but then when you're having to raise your children, pay your bills, and be an adult, it's got to be so difficult, and that's what Tony Neumeister was talking about.
It's a fascinating topic, Eric.
It very is.
Thank you very much. An emergency meeting is set for the state's education leaders. That meeting comes after the federal government announced Indiana is in danger of losing its No Child Left Behind waiver. That could mean an end to the programs used in every Indiana school. State Board of Education members wanted to hold that emergency meeting this week, but due to public meeting laws, it will be on Tuesday.
Watching the roads while keeping your children safe, it is a tough task for school bus drivers. Fox 59 actually hopped the bus today. We got a first-hand look at the dangers our school bus drivers are facing on the roads, from cars cutting them off to sharing the road with people, bikes, even motorcycles. According to the Indiana Department of Education, last year, nearly 2,700 cars drove straight through a school bus stop arm in one day.
Even if there's nobody behind us, they will pull out in front of us so they're not behind the school bus.
And there's been at least 4 incidents involving school buses recently. You may remember 2 of those involved crashes that killed a motorcycle rider and a man on his bicycle. Police say both cases were accidents and charges will not be filed.
New at 10 tonight, 2 children held against their will to work off a debt are safe tonight. Tonight, this man, Romulo Molina, is in jail. State police pulled him over yesterday for a traffic stop in Hancock County. They learned Molina was taking a 12- and 13-year-old to Columbus, Ohio to work off a debt their family owed in Mexico. Molina is now facing human trafficking charges.
Billions of taxpayer dollars set aside for pet projects. Tonight, we're going to expose where that money's going to give lawmakers a leg up in their own home states. Brian.
Fanchon, there are a few showers sneaking around tonight. One we're tracking up in Madison County. There are more rain chances in the extended forecast. The warmth will continue, but for how long? A full forecast coming up in minutes.
And a 13-year-old girl laying in bed with a shirtless 20-year-old man. The story behind this picture that has parents outraged tonight.
Wasteful spending in Washington tonight. We are taking a much closer look at where your taxpayer dollars really go. A bipartisan group called Citizens Against Government Waste say earmarks are costing you and me more than $3 billion a year. $90 million has been set aside to upgrade the Abrams M1 tank. That's a project the Pentagon doesn't want to do. There's $15 million for the Pacific Salmon Recovery Fund, and nearly $6 million will go to Hawaii's East-West Center.
Earmarks are the gateway drug to Washington's spending addiction. After only 4 years on the wagon, it appears that many members of Congress feel a compelling need to once again drink from the trough.
Now, Congress imposed a ban in 2011 on those types of wasteful pet projects.
New at 10 tonight, a Hoosier volunteer travels to Arkansas to help with tornado relief. Indianapolis Red Cross volunteer Kimber Carruthers was deployed today. An EF4 tornado destroyed several areas and killed 15 people last month in the Little Rock area. This is her first Red Cross deployment.
I will be there to assist with any emergency disaster-caused health needs like medications, getting their equipment that they might need, eyeglasses, any treatment, and for the volunteer workers themselves in case they are injured.
Carruthers is a licensed EMT and went through extensive training with the Red Cross.
Well, the family of a Texas teen who killed 4 people in a deadly drunk driving crash agrees to a pretty big settlement. Ethan Couch's family will now pay the family of a boy paralyzed in that accident more than $2 million. Sergio Molina was in the back of Couch's pickup when it flipped last year. Molina's brother says the focus should be on the victims, not on Couch.
I'm still standing with my brother, and he's coming back. I don't know when, I don't know how, but we're standing together as one family trying to make it.
Now, 5 other families also settled with the Couch family pending court approval, while another family is seeking a jury trial. Couch was sentenced to 10 years probation and must go through rehab after he claimed he suffers from affluenza.
Here's what's coming up next at 10:30.
The women want the men to try harder, and the men want the women to make it easier.
Looking for love in Indianapolis? Is this a bad town for singles? Well, tonight, we're looking into Indy's dating scene and why women are asking, where are all the single men?
A warm night across central Indiana. Brian says we haven't seen the last of the 80s. He's got a hot and humid forecast. That's next on Fox 59 News at 10.
'18 Super Bowl bid is in the mail tonight. We are hoping to beat out New Orleans and Minneapolis to host the big game. Colts owner Jim Irsay and the bid committee will make a case for the Indy at the NFL owners meeting in just 2 weeks. That final decision will be announced May 20th.
Investigators are trying to figure out why this southeast side building caught fire this morning. Firefighters responded to Indy Drum along Terrace Avenue. Hundreds of plastic barrels are stored there. A hazmat team was called in, but air quality tests did not find any toxic residue.
The Indiana Supreme Court just ruled Mayor Ballard and Marion County Republicans were right to redraw city-county council boundaries for the 2015 elections. The boundaries Republicans voted on in late 2011 will now be reinstated. Democrats were arguing those changes violate the redistricting ordinance.
Well, we haven't even gotten to Mother's Day yet.
No.
We haven't had the race, but it sure feels like it's the middle of July out there right now.
Yeah, it's warm and a little humid
Beautiful,
too.
yeah.
The temperatures this afternoon finally cracked the 80-degree mark. It was one of the longer stretches and waits for an 80-degree temperature.
And it feels warm out there tonight, right now.
It feels pretty good. A south breeze is out there. We have one isolated little sneaky shower cutting through. Now Madison County will zero in with Live Guardian radar. Had a couple of raindrops in eastern Tipton County. You can see out towards Elwood, Frankton, right there in Madison County. You might even get a couple of raindrops into Anderson here within the next 15 minutes or so, but that's about it. It's relatively quiet out there and quite warm too. It was the warmest day of 2014, warmest day here since October the 4th. We hit 83 this afternoon. That stretch of 240 consecutive days under 80 degrees, the longest wait essentially for an 80-degree high temperature here since 96, and that would go into the record books as the 41st longest streak of non-80 degree warmth. And the high temperature this afternoon hit 83 here officially in the city. That's more typical for about the middle to end of June, and there are many locations like Kokomo or even into Beech Grove and Geist that were up into the upper 80s. These temperatures at this hour range from 77 at Anderson, 75 at Hagerstown. Here in the city, we've got a downtown temperature that's still near 82 degrees, 77 at Geist at this hour. The skies are fair to partly cloudy. This is a live look from the Ray Skillman Tower camera. The wind has settled down somewhat, but still in from the south at 8 miles per hour. At one point, the dew point jumped to about 60 degrees, something we haven't said in a long while, so there was a little taste of some humidity out there. 72 officially here, 76 in Muncie. Peru and Muncie, you've been waiting on that warm front. That front now lies along I-80, 94 in northern Indiana, so we are in the warm sector of things for a while. Temperatures up as much as 13 degrees from 24 hours ago. Here are some of the local high temperatures ranging from 86 at Peru and Lafayette, 85 in Muncie, and just shy of the record here in Indianapolis of 87, set back 88 years ago. So pretty warm for this time of the year, and I think a lot of folks are pretty happy about it. The question is, are you running that air conditioning tonight? It's pretty warm out there. We've got patchy clouds in the area. A couple of showers aren't going to be ruled out entirely through the overnight hours, especially over the northern third of the state, but big thunderstorms are rumbling now across parts of Oklahoma, into Texas, and into portions of Kansas. There is a front and there is a storm system that will be pushing ever so slowly towards central Indiana in the next 24 hours. This is the warm air that we will be in again tomorrow. In fact, we could touch 85 officially in the city tomorrow, most likely a lot like today. Readings generally in the mid to even upper 80s. There is the warm front in northern Indiana. That's the cold front that'll be arriving here on Friday. That's our best chance for rain. We haven't had measurable rain here in 8 days. The combination of drying out and warming up has allowed area farmers to get out in the field. It's gotten busy quickly. In fact, they've got 20% of the corn crop now in the field here statewide. That's up as much as 12% from last week. That's good news. We can get some rainfall out of this system. In fact, we could have some thundery downpours here on Friday afternoon or Friday night. So the warmth is still coming. The rain chances are coming up as well, but I think most of Thursday and Thursday night will be dry. It's towards sunrise on Friday that these rains will begin to push into central Indiana. So rain arrives Friday morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely to start the day. Some question whether or not these storms could be severe. I think it's a little iffy at this point. We'll watch it carefully. Should we get another wave and dry time on Friday afternoon, maybe a couple more active storms. Some downpours are likely. The good news is that the rain should begin to diminish from west to east throughout the day on Saturday, so there will be dry time Saturday, and this could be the warmest Mother's Day we've had here since 2005. We've got another spell of 80-degree warmth coming our way. Breezy and warm tonight under partly cloudy skies, a small chance for an isolated shower, 64 the low. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy, and continued very warm. The normal high 70 will hit 85. Cooling off for Friday with showers and storms. Rain diminishes Saturday. Sunday for Mother's Day, a small chance for a shower or thunderstorm. High temperature 78. Could reach 84 Monday before a significant cool down by the middle of next week.
All right, Brian, thank you. Well, anyone who lives here will tell you Indianapolis does have a lot to offer, but what do your single friends say? Women we talked to tonight say, not so much. Fox 59's Aisha Husney is getting to the bottom of this tonight. Where are those eligible bachelors? She joins us now live. And Aisha, we don't have to worry about it. I know you don't have to worry about it, but what did you find?
What I found was angry females, a lot of them. Now, you know, a lot of us have come out to the bar scene, maybe here in Broad Ripple, and maybe we didn't find the love that we were looking for. Well, I have some good news. There are some experts coming into town tomorrow that want to help. That is, if they can find the single men. We've got music, we've got food, we've got culture, but where is all the love?
There's nothing here.
Talk to any single gal in Indy and they'll tell you the dating scene here is dead.
I would describe it as rather non-existent.
Horrible.
One of the things about Indianapolis is we don't have a singles hub.
Amy Owens is a local matchmaker and singles coach. Tomorrow, she'll be a panelist on the Great Love Debate, a live town hall where 100 single women and 100 eligible bachelors debate why they're still on the market and hopefully find love. It's the brainchild of Brian Howie.
The women want the men to try harder, and the men want the women to make it easier.
He says the problem is we're just not connecting the right way.
We're on our phones, we have our earphones in, we're on Facebook, we're on Match, and sort of the art of communicating face to face is really gone away. So there's a lot of miscommunication.
Unfortunately, he's still 20 guys short on the night before the event. So where are all the single men in Indy?
Not here. They're in California or Colorado or something.
There are plenty of good single men around here.
We found a few hanging out downtown.
I'm not looking for the trashy girl at a bar. I'm looking for the nice girl.
And we even convinced one of them to go to the event.
Men think that all women are crazy, and women think that all men are jerks, and that's absolutely not true.
There's love everywhere. There's 1,000 people of the opposite sex within 10 yards of you every single day of your life. Notice them, talk to them, interact with them, you'll be fine.
Okay, so if you want to go to the Great Love Debate and debate it out and try to figure out what's going on with your love life, then it's happening tomorrow here in Indianapolis at the Indiana Landmark Center around 7:30. You can find ticket information and more information about this on our website, fox59.com. Good luck to all of you. Reporting live tonight, I'm Aisha Hasani, Fox 59 News.
All right, Aisha, thank you. We know a lot of people are going to be talking about that tonight. Here's another story a lot of people are talking about. Look at this picture. Have you seen this? This is all over the internet tonight. People are outraged. That is 13-year-old Willow Smith, the daughter of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Gets a reaction, doesn't it? She's laying on a bed next to a shirtless 20-year-old actor named Moises Arias. Arias is a friend of Willow's older brother. Now, these pictures were taken by a professional photographer, and since he's posted them online, it has sparked a lot of discussion about whether or not is this innocent or is it inappropriate.
So, of course, we posed that question to you on our Facebook page. Here's what some of you are saying. Kimberly Thomas says, this is wrong on so many levels. Sex is being implied, just shy of child porn, in my humble opinion.
Jennifer Magner Moore says, what do her parents have to say? I'm sure Jada and Will are better parents than that. Why judge? There's nothing dirty going on unless it's in your mind.
Of course, a lot of debate about this one tonight. So what do you think? Check out the conversation on our Facebook page and leave your comments as well. That won't soon go away, I'm sure. Well, we have a lot more coming up. What about pet food? When you go to the pet store, of course, you try and find the best pet food possible for your dog. But sometimes it really is hard to decide if you should go organic, fancy, or condition specific for food allergies. Last year, Americans spent almost $22 billion on pet food, mainly at high-end specialty pet stores. A veterinarian advises finding a price point that's comfortable for you.
I usually try to tell owners you want to feed the best that you can within the price point that you set. Yes, there are foods that are better than others, but realistically, owners can afford only so much for some families.
And part of making the right choice is knowing how to read the labels. You can be there for hours reading the labels, trust me. Products labeled natural, they cannot contain artificial colors or preservatives. Organic pet food must follow the same USDA guidelines for human foods. Hopefully that helps.
A Florida mom is getting a very special Mother's Day gift this weekend. She's bringing home triplets. 47-year-old Sharon Lewis, already a mother of two, was shocked to learn she was even pregnant. Even more so a few months later when she learned she was having not one, not two, but 3 babies. Doctors were stunned.
For it to occur is very rare by itself. And for her to have triplets is another rarity. And for all of them to be healthy and good is another rarity.
All 3 babies were delivered on March 18th. They're all healthy and ready to go home.
That is a true miracle.
There you go.
Beautiful.
And hey, I tell you, a lot of folks think this is a miracle after that winter we had. We finally got some warmth, and it's back again tomorrow. Storms arrive for Friday.
That'll do it for Fox 59 News at 10.
A very special edition of Pacers and Racers coming up next.